Right, so welcome back. Today we'll go over the channel rack / step sequencer. So channel rack here, step sequencer there. Now the channel rack is where every sound in your project will go. And this step sequencer is pretty much a way of creating patterns, especially with drums. This is heavily based on old hardware, like the TR-808. So you place certain sounds down and they'll play out. That sort of thing. And then it'll loop over. Now let's get into how to use it. At the top left here we've got the channel options menu. Clicking this will bring up a bunch of options. So this add one is for plugins, so you can access that here. Clone selected, delete selected, move selected up, move selected down, and then sort by whatever. So the selected ones you've got here, indicated by this green thing. You can double tap to select all, and then right click to get rid of them, and then you control shift and click to select some, and then you can clone them, delete them, move them up, move them down, or sort them. You can also group them, color them a certain color, so random color. You can mute them, unmute, transpose, so you can transpose by say one semitone and it'll go down a semitone. You can select the swing, so we'll get into the swing in a second. Assign them to free mixer tracks in the mixer here. You can zip them or you can unzip them, so zipping them will put them there so they'll still play but just look a bit smaller. Then unzip all. Restretch. You can auto resize, so minimum or maximum height, or you can just turn that off and resize it manually down here. I like to keep it minimum height. Auto switch display filter, that allows switching the display filter depending on the context. You can change the channel button width, so channel buttons are these things here, the words on them, so you can change it to 400 maybe, make it a bit wider, up to you. I like to keep it at 100 though. Channel name alignment, left, it'll just go to the left a bit, and then center, it'll bring it back in the center. I'll show you. There you go. Focus selected channel on playback. Mute, remove steps. Show mixer track selectors, so over here. Over here. You can see they're linked to 1, 2, 3, 4. Get rid of that if you want. Show complete piano roll preview, so if you've got something in the piano roll. Be really long. It'll show the whole thing no matter how long it is. Then detached, you can keep like that, and then when it goes up here you can double click, and then when it double clicks here it goes right to the top instead of right up here below the toolbar. So that is it for the options menu. Right next to it, we've got the looping settings. So what looping is, if you put down certain things here, so you've got this little pattern or whatever, you can loop the selected channels, just click it there, so that does it by default actually, so you can get rid of that. But if we come right click on the options, loop all channels, and you can unloop some of them, but you can also come here, advanced looping, so you can change how often that loops. So you can go beat, and then you can get this one going, this one not looping, and then this one looping each step maybe. Oh yeah, so if I bring it like this, then so pretty bad example of looping. You can definitely do a lot with it. I don't enjoy using looping, to be honest, but I guess if you enjoy that, that's fair enough. You can burn selected channels, burn all looping channels, so if you come back to looping and set this to 4, let's say. If we select this channel, so you can see with the green now it's selected. Oops. You can come here. Oh, whoops. So set this to 4, so it loops 4 times. And we've got it selected on this green. We right click, burn selected channels, and those notes that were sort of half inside, half out have fully come through. Now colorful loop controls just lines up with that. Always show advanced controls. So here next to this looping control, we've got this drop down. So it's on all right now, so that means it'll show all of our sounds we've got here. But if we wanted to create a new one, we can right click, add filter group, just say sigh, then bring in some sounds, and then only these sounds will show up here. But if we go to all again, it'll bring all of our sounds. So this is just a way of grouping sounds pretty much. This speaker button here, just a play button. This resize channel button is just resizing channels pretty much. We bring it all the way back. Now all the way over here is the global swing or main swing. So what swing is pretty much, I'll put a picture up sort of describing how it works, but pretty much with no swing, all of these here on the right spots, but with swing it moves the second beat slightly off, slightly further off. So I'll play it with no swing, and then I'll add some swing in to 50 and then to 100. So right, I've got this pattern set up. 2-step wasn't working well enough, but now I've got this every beat going on. I'll play it now without any swing, and then I'll add a bit of swing in. I go 50% now. So it sort of gets your head grooving, gets you into a little bit of a groove. And then 100%. That can sound a bit off, but keeping a little bit, I don't know, it just switches it up sort of. You can also come into the channel settings and do it for each sound. Bring this up here. So you can go here and then go to shift. But channel settings are for another video. This little area here changes the pattern length. So it's how much of the pattern will play. You just drag it up to whatever you want, or you can just hit 4 bars, 8 bars, 2 bars, 1 bar. This button next to that here, bring up the graph editor. So that's got note pitch, velocity, release velocity, fine pitch, panning, mod X, mod X, mod Y, and then shift. So these are all like different parameters you can use for all of the sounds you got. So you've got a graph editor on each different sound in your channel rack, and you can, I think you can do this in the piano roll, but it's just a way to edit your sounds and change them up quickly. So just then I've changed the note pitch, and or I could do this velocity where it goes up. You can do all that sort of stuff. So that was really quick, just inside of the graph editor, and you can hit K to get rid of that. This button here switches between step view and piano roll preview. So here we're in step view, and then piano roll preview here now. Now we'll come over here to more of the channel rack area. This knob on the left controls the panning, so you can pan it all the way to the right, all the way to the left. I'll show you what it's like. Now if you're listening on headphones, this will be way easier to tell the difference. If you're on phone speakers or something, it might be a bit harder, but it changes the panning. You can also automate this, so you just switch it around. This button here is the volume, so And this green button over here is the mute/solo sort of button. So you can get rid of that. Or you can click here, right click here, and hit solo. You also get a couple more options, so you can lock the active state, so you can't accidentally hit that. You can edit the event, you can automate it, so create automation clip to either be muted or unmuted, you can link it to a controller, all that basic stuff. You can type in the value, pretty simple. Right, so coming back to the target mixer track section, you can scroll, you can click and drag up and down to set your desired one, or you can hit Control L. So go here, Control L, and then to go to the next free one in the mixer channel. And then we can select all of them and then line it up. So that's nice. It's pretty handy. It'll just Control L will take you to the next free one, as long as you got that one selected. This is the instrument box, channel box sort of thing. You can right click to open up the piano roll graph editor, which we can do over there, or piano roll up here. You can rename color, change icon, load a sample, so change the sample, cut itself, that's useful for 808s. You can insert something, you can replace it with something, you can clone it, delete it, assign to a new instrument track, you can cut the pattern, copy the pattern, or paste a pattern in, and then you can fill each 2 steps, fill each 4 steps, fill each 8 steps, or you can open up an advanced fill, which is where you can change the sequence length, you can change the interval, and you can rotate it around, sort of. Very handy sometimes, you can randomize it as well. Pretty handy. Only a couple set in stone ones that are nice for claps, whatever. Just saves a bit of time, I guess, if you know what you're doing. You can rotate it left, so you can change it there. Rotate it right, it just flips it around. MIDI channel through, that's for using a MIDI controller. You can receive notes from your MIDI controllers, create direct wave instrument, not a clue. You can burn the MIDI to a new pattern, so you can take the MIDI you've got and bring it to a new piano roll over there. So I've already gone over pretty much how to use the step sequencer. So you left click to play something, and then you can right click on that to get rid of it. You can also right click here and then drag across, but you can't drag across layers, so right click, drag, get rid of that. It won't work down here. So I think that's pretty much it. Not too much more to cover. I think I've got everything pretty much. Just this plus button is also for adding a new channel, but that's about it. So if you learned something, make sure to hit that like button. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.